So as soon as I knew I was going to have a godson on the way, I prioritized making sure that he did not have to struggle financially the way that I did. And when I say struggle, I mean student loans, I mean car notes, I mean anything where I have to borrow money to do something that I need to do in my life. And so in this video, I'm going to discuss and talk to the wealthy aunties, the rich aunties out there that are like me, that may not have kids, or they may have kids and they want to create a better life for them. And I'm going to tell you about the account that I set up for him, what we're doing to manage it, and what our ultimate goal of it is. So wealthy aunties, rich girls, hot girls, wealthy moms even. I'm not a mom, but again, wealthy aunties, tap in. So when my godson was born, I knew, because at that time I was paying off my student loans and I did not want him to have to go through this 18 years later, like whether he wanted to go to college or not. So I'm like, we need to set him up, and this is me talking to his parents, we need to set him up with an investment account so that he can take advantage of this money when he turns 18. So I explained to them the benefits of it and they were like, all right, cool. So around 2 years old, I reached out to my financial planner before then, because he is managing my retirement funds, an active manager, excuse me. And I let him know, like, hey, I have a godson and I want to invest for his future. Like, I want him to not have to worry about where money can come from if he needs something. So he advised me on the different accounts that are out there, and we ultimately decided on a traditional investing account, and so I chose that over the 529, which is very common for parents or people that are a part of the village, because there are a lot of tax advantages to 529s that you don't get with the traditional investing account. But the challenge with the 529 is that it's usually associated with education expenses. So college, trade school, like anything related to that. And I just didn't know, and we still don't know. I mean, he's still less than 10 years old right now. Like, we don't know if he's going to want to go to college. He may want to use that money for something else. He may want to start a business. He may want to go travel the world. Like, I didn't want it to be I didn't want the stipulations around the 529 to hit him, because we don't know what his life is going to turn out to be. So we chose a traditional investing account for that reason, because when he turns 18, assuming he does well with the rest of his life, like, he'll get access to this money to do what he wants. Now, he needs to have a plan. Like, you ain't about to just go blow it on a car and unnecessary things, but like, the beauty of investing now and as early as 2 years old is that you get to take advantage of compounding interest. We get to take advantage of compounding interest, because ultimately it's our account. Our, meaning he and his mom's account. So compounding interest, if you don't know what that is basically your interest earning more interest for you. So if you think about a student loan that you have that you're not paying on, if you do not continue to pay on that student loan, the interest will continue to increase, because the balance is going to continue to, well, not the balance, but the interest will continue to increase because the principal will not change. And ultimately you'll end up owing more on a student loan that you're not paying for versus it decreasing if you are paying on it. And it works the same way with an investment account, except that interest on interest is in your benefit. So as that money stays there, it continues to grow, it's going to start earning more interest, and that's going to be in your favor, because that money that you're putting in will continue to grow over time and fight inflation. So that's one of the reasons why we decided on the investment account. And you can still earn the interest on a 529, but again, the stipulation around it being for education related expenses just didn't sit well with my spirit, because I'm not team school. Like, I don't feel like you have to go to school to do a lot of the stuff that we do right now. Like, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, then yes, school makes sense. But like for him, he may decide to start a business. He may decide to do something that doesn't require a degree, and I don't want to have spent all these years saving for something that he doesn't even have access to. And again, the benefit of compounding interest, you earn more interest in a traditional investing account than a 529. So don't be mad at me, be mad at your mama. And so what does that look like from a month-to-month perspective? We're investing for this baby. We started the account when he was 2 years old. I put in $20 every month into the account automatically. Like, it leaves my account every month. And then his mom puts in $10. So that's $30 that's going into this account every month. And I wish I would have taken a screenshot to show how much we've earned from a net returns perspective, because it's been 4-5 years, and we're not expecting to get rich quick out of this, but like imagine where that $30 every month until he's 18 is going to be at. Like, imagine the balance. Like, I'm very excited to see where it is myself. But that's the beauty of compounding interest and starting young. Like, I feel like a lot of people, especially if they're not financially sound, they start late. They start when the kid is 13, 14, and it's like, well, you only got a couple of more years left. So for us, he doesn't even know that this account exists. It's none of his business. It's our money currently. And assuming he continues to do well with his life, like, he'll get access to it at 18 to start off better than we started off. Like, we had student loans, we had car notes. We don't want that for him. We want him to be set up financially for success. So $30 over the next 13 years, it's gonna be a nice chunk of change. So that is what we're doing. And most of his account is very aggressive because he's not gonna need the money anytime. And that's the beauty of having a financial planner, is the older you get, the less aggressive you are as an investor, because you're gonna need your money quicker. For me, I'm in my 30s. I'm still pretty aggressive as an investor, because though I do want to retire early, I have my own, accounts and income set aside to support that. And then I have this small group of investments that my financial planner is measuring. And because he is looking in this thing day to day, he's the one who's making the decisions. And of course, sharing them with me. Like, he's not making decisions in a silo, but he's an expert at this. I'm not an expert at financial markets and stuff. Like, I experiment a lot to figure out what works for me. And thankfully, the things that I've experimented with have always worked out. So that's the beauty of hiring out experts. Like, he knows what's going to be beneficial. He knows what's happening in 10 years. I can only research and figure that out. But like, this is what he was trained to do. So don't be afraid to spend money to do these kind of things. Like, we don't pay him outright. He gets a portion of the returns from the account. It's very small because he's fee-based and not attached to a brokerage. So even understanding that small nuance of like working with someone who is fee-based, which means that they're going to be more objective and not force you towards one fund, which is usually people that do work for, certain brokerages. Like, they're incentivized to push Vanguard or push Fidelity. With him, he can look at it from an objective perspective and say, okay, I know that this is going to change in this way by this percentage in 10 years. Now, granted, that may change, but like, it's better to see all the options and then choose the best one based on that, and not because of an allegiance to the company that you work for. So that's that. That is how I am being the wealthy auntie to my godson, and helping to set him up for financial success. So if you know someone with kids, you have nieces, nephews, or even if you do have kids and you've been thinking about different ways to set them up financially, I highly, highly encourage setting up an investment account for them. You can use Betterment, you can use Fidelity, you can use Vanguard. I personally am a big fan of Betterment. But Wealthfront also makes it very easy as well. And let me know if you have any questions. And if you need help kind of walking through this scenario, I do offer personal finance sessions. They are one-on-one sessions where you can ask me anything. And it can be as personal or as detailed as you want. And my goal is to give you a strategy so that you can take action after the call. So use the link in the description to book that. I'll probably put it somewhere on the screen as well. And take a look at some of my other personal finance videos. I have a whole playlist of different things that I'm doing for myself and for my family to set us up for success, because scared money don't make none. And I don't want to spend all my money on temporary things, knowing that my ultimate goal is to make work optional and be able to travel the world and not be stressed over where my next check is coming from. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know how you are saving for the generations that are coming after you. Like, what kind of financial moves are you making? Because maybe I can learn something new and try something new. So I will see you on the next video. Peace.